Howdy, it's Tubal Cain again, and this video is a 11B answer to the mystery tool, what is it? Be sure and go back and see 11A if you haven't seen it for the question before I ruin it for you here in a second. And also there are 10 other questions and answers. Go back and see those if you haven't. And you might enjoy them. This has been a pretty popular series. They have been way too easy, but I've been talking to a tool collector friend of mine, so I hope to come up with some really hard ones that will stump a few of you. In that video the other day about my winter projects, and that was very well received, and thank you for the many encouraging comments. It really keeps me going. But several of you have asked, do I sell the kits? No, I do not. Do I sell castings? No, I do not. However, this is that double acting we talked about, and if you go to my website, and the website is listed at the beginning of this video, there is a 5 or 6 part series on this, building this actual one. It lasts about 2 hours or more. Also, the set of working drawings is in there if you're interested in that. So check that out. Now, when you go to my website, it's $19.99 a month, and you have access to this video and the 50 chapters called How to Run a Lathe South Bend, and 40 chapters How to Run a Lathe, the Atlas lathe, and then there's one on Stirling engines too. You do have to register, but if you can watch it all in 1 month for 20 bucks, you are getting, I don't know, many hours. Matter of fact, you can't possibly watch it in 1 month. And those videos that I'm talking about have never been released free, so that's all new stuff. And I'm sorry I had to give you a little commercial here, but you get that on TV all the time. So now on with the answer. I'll do the easy one first, although not everybody got this one. This is a Starrett number 118 spacing center punch. They're 90 cents. That is in the 1938 Starrett catalog. The neat thing about this is that the one leg here is spring-loaded. Maybe you can't see, that's hurting my finger. This will be the first time I ever used this little tool, so let's give it a try. Now the whole idea here, I try to keep my hand out of the way, is to, we got a layout line there, and I made the first center punch mark, and this is set for 3/16. It doesn't have a real wide range, but putting the little spring-loaded point in that one and staying right on the line, and the camera is a bit in the way here, but and then we would move to the next one, and the next one, and so on right down the line, however many you need. Now, and I'm not right on the line here because I'm trying to film this. You can see it just looks like a drunken sailor. But I think for a general purpose, something that isn't real important, this is kind of a neat tool. But if it's something that's real precision, your error would accumulate on you. And I think some of you know what I mean by that. But that's kind of a neat tool. And evidently many of you have never seen this. It's a Starrett number 118 spacing center punch. And now for the main feature. This is indeed a Stanley number 48 tongue and groove plane with a swinging fence. I have 2 of these. I got 2 or more of everything actually. The older one, this is older here, was not plated. It's what they call Japanning. It's a black varnish. And as soon as they invented plating and it became economical to do because you had to have electricity, they started nickel plating them. So it's pretty much the same plane, but it's nickel plated. And the whole idea here is now we can make our, I'm going to tell you what a tongue and groove is if you don't know here in a second. I think you all do. But the fence can be swung by pulling that pin, swinging it around to the other position. And in one position we can make the tongue And this will be used to make the tongue. We got 2 blades, and I guess I'll have to swing that back. And for the one groove, or for the tongue rather, actually the groove, now we're in the groove position. And I did a piece here with that plane. I had to sharpen the blades, needless to say. But there's the tongue, there's the groove. I'm not quite on center because the board isn't 3/4, and this is designed for 3/4 inch lumber. Pretty neat, huh? These are pretty common. They hadn't made them since about 1942 because by then power tools were in such availability that nobody wanted to use these anymore. And probably most of them got trashed, but there's still plenty of these around if that many of you knew what the answer was. And prior to the iron ones, we had wooden planes. I think they called them match planes when you had a pair of them. For the groove and the tongue, I got to think twice sometimes, you know. That's for the tongue, the other one's for the groove. This is not necessarily a matched pair. They are not the same company, just something I had in my collection here. And those blades need a good cleaning up too. Just a point of clarification, don't turn the video off yet, but some of you called it a dado plane or a rabbet plane, but let's review that. This is a dado joint, generally go across the grain, and this is a rabbet joint. Now the reason I'm showing you this is that I'm going to show you planes that are made for that particular purpose. I might be telling you much more than you want to know. This is a number 92 Stanley cabinet maker's rabbet plane. It was for a little more precision work. Missing the screw right here, I think. I just got that. Never did have one. Nickel plated. And this is a number 78 Stanley rabbet plane. Bullnose, because you can move the blade from this position up to this if you want to get right near the end of something. It's got a fence that is adjustable, and it's got a little depth gauge here, and there's also a little blade underneath here. See if we can look at that. It can be moved into 3 different positions, but that will help cut when you're going across the grain. I guess that's the idea of that. There's millions of these around yet. Very common plane. Obviously you guys that are watching these videos know a lot about planes, so I've got a lot of other ones, but I don't think any are rare enough that they would trip any of you, because I noticed that some of you guys are obviously doing some research, and I think you're enjoying doing that, and appreciate the feedback, and hope to do more of these videos. And on the easier ones like this, I'm going to do a 2-for-1 sale, but on the more difficult ones, one to a customer. Thanks for watching, and this is Tubal Cain saying so long for now.